Hey guys, how are you all? I hope all of you are doing well. So today we are going to solve few important sums from the chapter midpoint theorem of class 9, and the questions we have taken that are from the book ML Agarwal. So let's start. So here is our first question. It is given, all of you see. It is stated that in the figure given below, this figure, D and E are midpoints of AB and BC respectively. Okay, and it is also stated that this line DF, it is parallel to BC, and they have told us to prove that DBEF is a parallelogram. Also they have told us to calculate AC if AF equal to 2.6 centimeter. Now you all can think that why have I done this sum beforehand? The reason is that these sums are a bit lengthy. So I have done these sums beforehand so that it becomes easier for you all to copy as well as easier for you all to understand. So let's start. See, it is given that D is the midpoint of AB. Okay. Also it is given that this line DF, it is parallel to BC. Now you all know that then what will happen? This point F, it will be the midpoint of AC. Now why it is happening? By converse of midpoint theorem. Now I hope all of you know converse of midpoint theorem. If you all don't, I will explain it now. So what does the converse of midpoint theorem states? It states that if a line is drawn through the midpoint of one of the sides of a triangle and that line is parallel to another side of the triangle, then the previous line will cut a point of the third side, and that particular point will be the midpoint of the third side of the triangle. So from here we can conclude that F is the midpoint of the third side. And it means what? It means that F will bisect this AC into two equal parts. Okay. Now next is from midpoint theorem. We also know that this DF, it will be parallel to BC, and also DF will be half of BC. See, I have written it over here. Now see, since this point E, it is the midpoint of BC, so this point E will bisect this BC into two equal parts. They will be BE and EC. So since DF was equal to half of BC, we can write in place of half of BC, we can write it as BE, because BE is also the half of BC. Now next is, so now see, I have marked this as point 1, this as point 2. Now why I am marking these points, you will be able to understand once we finish the sum. Okay. Next again, I have considered the point F and D. Now the point F, it is the midpoint of AC, and point E, it is the midpoint of BC. Now from midpoint theorem we know that this line FE, it will be parallel to AB, and this line AV will be equal to half of AB. Okay. Now see guys, the point D is the midpoint of AB. It means what? It means that this point D bisects this AB into two equal parts. They are AD and BD. So in place of half of AB, we can write BD also. So we have written FE equal to BD. Again, if this line FE, if it is parallel to AB, we can also say that this line FE, it will be parallel to BD as well. So we have marked these 2 points as 3 and 4. Now all of you see this point 1, 2, 3, 4 once more. So all of you can see that this DF will be equal to BE. Also DF is parallel to BE over here. And from here you can see that this FE is equal to BD. Also FE is parallel to BD. Now you all know that in a parallelogram, the opposite sides are equal as well as they are parallel. The opposite sides are equal as well as they are parallel. So from here we can say that DBEF is a parallelogram. Now see, here they have told AC if AF equal to 2.6. Now previously only I have discussed that this F was the midpoint. So AF was equal to half of AC. I have written it over here. Now this 2 will go to the numerator and it will become 2 into F. So AC equal to 2 into F. Now the value of AF is 2.6 centimeter. So AC will be 2 into 2.6, that is 5.2 centimeter. So guys, here is our next question, where they have told us to prove that 4 triangles which are formed by joining in pairs, the midpoint of the sides of a triangle are congruent to each other. Now for this particular question, I have drawn the diagram over here. See, I have drawn a triangle ABC having midpoints F, E and D, and I have joined them in pairs. Okay. Now how to prove that they are congruent to each other? Now before we will prove that they are congruent, first let us prove those whatever we get using midpoint theorem. Okay, so let us consider one pair at a time. So let us consider the pair of midpoint D and E. Now see, D, comma E is the midpoint of AC and BC respectively. Okay. Now from midpoint theorem we know that the line joining these two midpoints will always be parallel to the third side and will be equal to half of third side. That means DE will be parallel to AB, and at the same time DE will be equal to half of AB. Now half of AB, and we all know that F is the midpoint of AB. So it means AF and FB are equal. So half of AB means it can be AF also or FB also. I have written the reason over here. Okay. In the same manner, for the pair of midpoint E and F, E is the midpoint of BC, F is the midpoint of AB. Again we have joined them, and the line EF will be parallel to the third side, and at the same time the line EF will be equal to half of the third side AC. I have written it over here and by midpoint theorem. Okay. So again see that this side AC, it is having midpoint at D. It means D bisects the side AC, or AD equal to DC, and half of AC means the half length of AC, that can be AD also or DC also. I have written it over here and the reason over here. All of you copy it. Next, in the same manner again, I have considered the last pair of midpoints, that is F and D. F is the midpoint of AB, and again D is the midpoint of AC. Okay, now again the line joining FD will be parallel to the third side BC and will also be equal to the half of third side BC, and E was the midpoint of the third side, so it will be equal to BE or EC. Okay, now I have marked this as 1, 2, 3. Now one by one we will prove the congruency of all the four triangles with one another. So first let us consider these two triangles, this triangle ADF and DFE. Okay, so let's start. So in these two triangles you all can see that DF is the common side. Now guys, if you all have any doubt in understanding the concepts of congruency, or if you have problems in solving the sums of congruency, you all can easily follow in the I button. There I have provided links of two different videos of mine from which you can get a clear idea of congruency. Okay guys, so again let's come back. So see, AF equal to D, and from what I have written over here, from 1. See, in 1 only we have got there that DE was equal to AF, so AF equal to DE we have already got from there. And again see, this line AD is equal to EF, and from where we have got this? From 2. So from 2, see here we have previously proved that EF was equal to AD. So see, we are getting 3 points there, and to prove congruency we always know we have to prove 3 points, and here also we have done that. So therefore triangle ADF will be congruent to triangle DEF. And the reason was, see, what were the 3 points? Those were, this side was the common side, and this side was equal to this one, and these two sides were equal. So 3 sides we have proved common in both the triangles, so they are congruent by SSS axiom. Okay guys, next. Now next is, again we have considered two different pairs of triangle DFE and triangle EFB. Again all of you see that EF is the common side. Now DF, this line DF will be equal to EB, and from where we have got that? From 3. So from 3 we have previously proved that, see, DF. Now all of you know that DF and FD, both of them are same only. So FD was equal to BE. So that only we have written here, that DF equal to EB, same only. So from 3. Again the other side, that is FB equal to DE, and from where you have got this? From 1. All of you see, FB equal to DE. So again we find that these 3 sides of this triangle is equal to 3 sides of this triangle. Therefore triangle DFE will be congruent to triangle FEB, and by which axiom? Since we have proved 3 sides to be equal, so it will be by SSS axiom. Now I have completed the remaining part of this sum in this page only, so that it becomes easier for you all to understand, because you will be able to see the whole sum in a single page. So now we have done the last pair of triangles, this DFE and this triangle DEC. Okay, so here first only you can see that this DE is the common side. Next is DC. This DC is equal to EF. Now from here, where you have got? From 2. So all of you come back to 2. See, previously we have proved that this EF was equal to DC. Okay guys, next see what I have written here, EC equal to FD. That is EC is equal to this FD, and from where you have got? From 3. All of you come as see EC equal to FD. So again for these two triangles we have got 3 sides which are same in both the triangles. So by which axiom they will be congruent? So they will be congruent by SSS axiom. Now see, here I have marked this as 6, the previous congruency was marked as 5 and the previous one was 4. Now if we sum of these 3 points, means from point 4, 5 and 6, you all can see that ADF was congruent to DFE, again DFE was congruent to FEB, again DFE was congruent to DEC. Means all these these triangles, they are congruent to this triangle. It means that all the 4 triangles are congruent to one another. So here I have written the final statement. I hope it is clear to you all guys. All of you please copy. Guys, now we have our third sum. See, here it is given that in the quadrilateral given below, I mean this quadrilateral AB, this line AB, it was parallel to DC, and point E and F are midpoints of the non-parallel side. Non-parallel side means AD and BC. Clearly you can see from the diagram that these two sides are not parallel to one another. Okay, now they have told us to prove that this EF will be equal to half of AB plus DC. Also they have told that to find the value of AB if DC equal to 8 cm and EF equal to 9 cm. So first what we will do? First we will produce this line DF, and we will produce it so that it meets this line segment, this line AB at point G. Now we will prove the congruency of two triangles. Which two triangles? Triangle triangle DCF and triangle FBG. And in the previous video of congruency, I have already explained the meaning of this sign. It means that this side FC is same in length to this side FB. So our first point will be CF equal to FB, and it was given in our diagram, and it was met. That's why we have written it as given, means it is given in the question. Okay, next see. Next will be this angle DFC, means this angle, it will be equal to angle BFC. Okay, why? Because they are vertically opposite. BFG, so DFC equal to BFG, vertically opposite. Next, all of you see, angle CDF will be equal to angle FGB. Why? Because they are alternate angles. Now why? How can you understand that they are alternate angles? As you all know that DC and AG are the parallel lines, and then this DG will be the transversal, and in transversal, see, this point and this point, they always form a alternate angle. So here we have got 3 points which are equal for both the triangles. From here we can conclude that both of them, that this triangle and this triangle, they are congruent. And by which axiom? We have got 2 angles to be equal and 1 side to be equal. So the axiom will be angle side axiom. Now since the congruency is proved, so from there we can conclude that CD is equal to GB and FD equal to FG. Why? Because we all know that CPCT means corresponding parts of congruent triangles are equal. Okay. Now all of you see, in triangle ADG, we are considering this triangle ADG, this triangle. Now in this triangle, F is the midpoint of DG. Why? Because here only previously we have proved that FD was equal to FG, means they are equal. Means what? Means this point F is bisecting this line DG. So F will be the midpoint of DG. And what I have written? From 1, means where we have proved it. Okay guys, next see E. E is the midpoint of AD. This was given in the question only. So what we are doing now, if we join this line EF, this line EF will be what? This line EF will be parallel to AG, and at the same time this line EF will be equal to half of AG. Why? By midpoint theorem. Clear? Now next is CEF. Now if we break this line AG, we can write AG as AB plus BG. Yes, because this is AG. So what will be AG? AB plus BG. Okay. Now again, see all of you. Previously we have proved that this BG is equal to CD. See, here we have done it, that BG equal to CB. So in place of BG we can easily write CD. In place of BG we can write CD. So see, our proof is done. EF equal to half of AB plus CD. Now we will do part 2. In part 2 what they have told? In part 2 they have told us to find the value of AF. Now we will put whatever values we know in this final proof. Okay, see, we have now, before that, see, 2 was in the denominator here, so we are taking it to the numerator, so it is becoming 2EF. So 2EF equal to AB plus DC. Now let us put the values, whatever we know. We know the value of DC, so we are putting it over here 8, and we know the value of 9, so we are putting it over here 9. So 2 into 9, 18, here we are having 8, so 8 goes to the LHS, so 18 minus 8, AB equal to 10 centimeter. I hope this sum is clear to you all. If you all have any doubt, definitely put it in the comment section, or if you have any doubt in the previous sums, put it in the comment section. Now after this we have one more sum. So guys, here is our last sum of today. What is that? In the figure given below, ABCD is a kite, and in which this line BC is equal to BC equal to CD and AB equal to AD. Also they have told that this E, F and G are the midpoints of their respective sides. Okay, and they have told us to prove that angle EFG is 90 degree and the line drawn through G parallel to EF will bisect DA. Now let's start. So guys, see, first what I have done, let us join diagonals AC and BD, means I have joined these 2 points and these 2 points. Now we all know that the 2 diagonals bisect at this point O, and we all know that for a kite the angle where the diagonals bisect is always 90 degree, means this angle COB will be equal to 90 degree. See, I have written it over here. Now next is EF is the midpoint of CD and BC respectively in triangle ABCD, definitely means this our triangle BCD. So from here we can say that this EF will be parallel to BD, and at the same time EF will be equal to half of BD. Why? By midpoint theorem. Okay guys, now so we know that EF and BD are parallel. Now when they are parallel, we all know that angle FIO and angle IOB, or you can say it as angle COB also. Now if we add them, the angle will be 180. Why? Because they are the co-interior angles, means 2 angles which are located on the interior side of 2 parallel lines EF and BD, and on the same interior side. That's why they are called as co-interior angles. So on adding 2 co-interior angles, the sum is always 180. Now this COB will go to the right hand side, and we all know the value of COB, that is 90 degrees. So 180 minus 90 will be 90 degrees. So we are getting the value of angle FIO as 90 degree. Now again, F is the midpoint of BC and G is the midpoint of AB. We are doing this for triangle ABC. Okay, so here what will happen, this FG will be then become parallel to AC, and FG will also be half of AC. Why? By midpoint theorem. So again it means that this line and this line, they are also becoming parallel. Now when they become parallel, again angle FIO and angle EFG, they will be co-interior because they lie on the same interior side of 2 parallel lines. So again on adding angle FIO and angle EFG, it will become 180. Now we all know the value of FIO. Now before that we are taking this FIO to the RHS. Now the value of FIO is 90 degrees, so EFG will also become 90 degrees. So our first proof is done. Okay, now next part. Now let us draw a line through G parallel to FE. See, we are drawing a line through G which is parallel to FE, and the point at which the line G cuts this side AD, we are calling it as H. Okay, so now this GH will be parallel to EF, it as it is told in the question only. So again we all know that this EF was previously parallel to BD. We have proved it over here. So now since GH is parallel to EF and EF is parallel to BD, therefore this GH will also be parallel to BD. Now you all can see that GH is parallel to BD and G cuts one side of the triangle at point H. So it means that H is the midpoint of AD, and by why? By the converse of midpoint theorem. And it means what? As H is the midpoint, so what will happen? H will bisect AD, means H will divide AD into two equal parts. So guys, I hope my today's class was clear to you all. If you all have any doubt, definitely put it in the comment section. And guys, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe this channel. And please keep watching my videos and please keep supporting. Thank you guys.